Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the live show for A Time of Blood, which is the second book in the Blood and Bone series, which I keep forgetting and getting this now confused with the Bloodsworn Saga. Which, if you've missed it, there is an announcement video on my channel because we are going to be adding that series on to the end of Faithful All Along. But today we are discussing this middle book. I'm not going to do a synopsis because there's no any point at this. Like, what 5 books in? 6 books in. But yeah, we'll start with the usual, which is everybody's non-spoilery thoughts and star ratings, starting with, I guess, Deb, because we're here on your channel.
I will say I'm pretty sure I put the announcement video for the extension as well as for this portion in the description box, so that is linked.
Oh, cool.
I enjoyed this. I had a great time with it. I basically read the whole thing in a day, and it was a 5-star read. That's as good as they are.
Okay.
I guess I'll go next because I'm second. I gave it 4 stars, I think, like 4.5. I really struggled with the first 150 pages of it, but this was the first fantasy that I hadn't DNF'd in like just over a month, so I mean, I was struggling in general, but then the further we got into it, the more invested I got. I think that the perspectives that I enjoyed in book 1 are still the ones that I enjoyed in this one. I liked the new perspective that we got, the more I got into that. And I still am very lukewarm about the other 2 perspectives we have in here. So I think that this is like a tighter, more concise series than The Faithful and the Fallen. But I actually really just don't care about any of the characters nearly as much as I cared about like Maquin and Varadis in the Faithful and the Fallen series. Vish?
Okay, so I have the same thoughts as Becca. Shocker. But I gave this 4 stars, and I think that a lot of it is to do with like me being familiar with the world and like the writing, everything. And I'm not so invested in the characters because I feel like this was really, really plot heavy, and there's not a lot of slow moments with the characters like we had in the Faithful and the Fallen series. So my favorite perspective is still the same as the first one, but we didn't really get much, I don't know, in-depth stuff with him. It was because it was just a lot of action. And I really enjoyed the new perspective as well. The other one, I don't know. I'm like Aaron, I think I really enjoyed the romance in this with the yearning. It was great. And I would say the last 100 pages was wild, and I'm surprised that we had plot twists. That was great. So those are my thoughts.
Oh yeah, this series has a lot more plot twists, which I do enjoy about this one, in comparison to The Faithful and the Fallen as well. Zaf?
Hello, I'm going camp-free for this one because I've spoken about this previously, but I am recovering from a car accident, and sitting up to read this was a terrible decision to make over the past few days. So yeah, I'm just going camp-free for this. But okay, so I'm in this really weird mixed spot with this one because I think I gave the last one 4 stars or something, or like something high. And this one, I don't know. I'm stuck between a 3 and a 4 star. I think this is gonna sound stupid, but I kind of enjoyed the establishment of the world in the last one a little bit more and how we got a bit more time with those things. But I will say the whole Fritha Drem dynamic that was going on in this book, especially with the duality of what was happening between their perspectives, that I really, really enjoyed in this one. So I'm going to say a 3.5 for now. Maybe as the more we talk about it, I'll see how I feel.
Cool. Aaron?
Hello.
Hello.
So to preface this, I marathoned the entire trilogy already. So I do think that gives you an idea of my taste and how I feel about it. But this is definitely my favorite book in the trilogy, and it's probably my second, maybe third, depending on the date, favorite John Gwynne book. I absolutely love this. I ate this up. I care so much about these characters. this is such an interesting story that's being told, and the further you get, which we'll get into in the spoilers, like you see like there are certain parallels happening throughout the series with certain character dynamics, and you're seeing how certain characters ended up the way they are. But I love and care for these characters so much. The yearning, John Gwynne and Bennett yearning in here. The found family, I really love it. My favorite thing in a fantasy series is when you have all the characters start to converge together. And the thing that a lot of series do that pisses me off is then they break them all apart. Luckily, we didn't have as much of that here. So getting to see all of our different characters come together. And this also was the one I feel like paid more homage to the last series, because there were some moments where we just characters were mentioned and it was just so sweet. Oh, this was so incredible. I love this so much. I low-key want to just reread it. So yeah, I don't really rate books anymore, but this is definitely probably in my top 5 books I read this year.
Damn. Okay. Sandra?
I liked it a lot, actually. I think the first one was a bit like hard to get into, etc., but I like this more. And I think Frita is my new favorite character, which I feel like not everyone loved her POV. I thought she was so fun. I thought everyone was boring except her.
You thought she was fun.
Yeah,
Sandra thought she was fun.
Can I say, I think that's a valid perspective. And I like a horrible woman. But also, it's like, it's very entertaining. There was so much that was going on with her plot. And I feel like we don't really get characters like that are just...
Yeah. I really
As a
enjoyed the
resident
new
evil
POV.
woman lover, I kind of couldn't stand Fricta, but the more the story went on, I'm like, you know what? I like a woman doing bad things. I really do. And she was getting things done. And manipulating these men and these creatures. And like, I really appreciate it. And by the time we got to the end, I was like, you know what? Everything you're doing, I support it. You're hurting my characters, but based on what happened to her, I was like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. You can.
She made action happen. I was like, Drum is like a boring like dude that we see always. I'm like, I don't care about you. We need more angry women. Okay. So I enjoyed it a lot. I gave it a 4. That was what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Rock their show and tell piece.
Why do you want it? It's
Y'all act like I'm asking you to show me your birth certificate. Let me see it.
I don't have Australian cash, but I have Malaysian currency.
Okay, let me see what you got.
I'll be a second. I'll be 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, nice.
And then this is $1.
Okay, nice. Sandra, did you make it to the ATM?
No.
And I have American cash, funnily enough.
Okay, Becca, this is what, 20 pounds?
20 pounds.
Why do you have so much cash, Becca?
Okay.
Because I got a tattoo and I paid for it in cash and I took extra with me in case it cost more and I have change.
Why did you pay the tattoo in cash? I have so many questions.
Because tattoo artists tend to be independent people in studios, so they don't always take card if they don't like work at that studio.
I have a.
I've no lost
I have
£20, so
snow.
there's
Does
that.
that count? It snowed today, first time.
I feel like it snows a lot where you're from.
Maybe, but it snowed today for the first time this winter.
Okay, did you bring up some snow then? Like a snowball?
No, but I was thinking it snow outside my window. There.
Okay, let me see the snow then.
Oh my god. How do I do that?
Then why'd you offer up the snow?
Can't you like lift your webcam or something and point it outside?
At like 9 o'clock at night where you won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
No, Sandra, you have to go outside.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look!
Cute.
Okay.
That's snow.
I was decided to be interesting, so I didn't bring dollars. I brought colones for my recent trip to Costa Rica. So here we have.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, that is so artistic.
Cute.
That was very pretty. I think you win on pretty money.
And then we have 1,000 colones.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, Deb, what you got for us?
I brought my book. It's got pretty tabs in it.
Uh-huh.
Look, they're all color.
You know what? I like how neat your tabs are.
That is true. They're very
spend a lot
nice.
of time on that. That's the benefit of audiobook. You can like straighten your tabs while you're still listening. Oh goodness. Apparently I also brought a dog who decided she's joining.
That's the best one. So.
'Cause
I'm
she
finally
just
part
tried
of the club.
Oh, slay.
Oh yeah,
I hope
that got
you
to you
guys
quite quickly
enjoy
actually.
Yeah, I know. I was
the
like,
new
I was
show and
waiting
tell
for
segment
this.
of the live shows. Thank you. I appreciate your participation.
Okay.
And
so I
why
don't-
did we participate in that?
Yeah.
I just wanted to see.
Okay.
Here's my laundry and my painkillers. That's my
Painkillers in a box is crazy. Is that like a cream?
No,
You don't get them in
like,
box?
No,
You don't
they
get them in a box?
bottles.
no, the
They're in
painkillers.
bottles.
You only
Typically.
get them in bottles if it's like a prescription.
Yeah. So my one, it's codeine mixed with paracetamol. So
Oh,
That would
okay.
come in a
Oh,
bottle
good
here.
stuff.
so that
That's a good
tablet.
Yeah,
shit.
even the non-prescription ones, they come in a bottle.
Damn.
You can get
Yeah.
boxes if you're only buying like 20, but who only buys like 20?
Because they just come
You
in
guys
boxes
have
of
some,
50.
really good headache medicine that I can't remember the name of, and that's great. I love that.
I love
Yeah.
my headache medicine of choice, Goody powders, because they don't have to dissolve into your bloodstream because it's already a powder. Woo, works fast.
I didn't even know there were medics for headache.
What is
the fuck
happening
did I
right
just
now?
say? I didn't know that was medicine for
Is
headache.
this Aaron's fault?
Okay.
She asked us to bring money. I still think it's a scam. I don't know how she's scamming us, but it feels
How?
like
I feel like she's
Erin
yeah,
entering
yeah.
her like
I only have Japanese yen, but I don't know where they are.
So I'm a person like one of the things I always try to get a book when I travel, but I also like always keep a little bit of cash because you get to a point where you can't turn it back in and get anything, and so I always keep it in. Recently, because I keep it in like my regular wallet most of the time, I'm pulling it out. People are like, "Where's that from?" I was like, "Huh? All of y'all except for Deb are from places that I have not visited." So I'm like, "Let me see the money."
oh,
I never have
okay.
money. No one in Norway has money, only tourists and old ladies.
That's fair.
Okay, now we can get down
For real.
basics.
That was
If you
the
go-
opportunity for anybody who hasn't read the book to leave.
Mhm.
yeah.
Because now we will go into spoilers, and I feel like we started talking about Fritha, so I feel like we should just like
Rip the Band-Aid
get
off.
her out of the way and everyone's thoughts on her. I liked her when we started to understand why she's doing what she's doing, and I thought that was really clever. Because thinking about it, as soon as she started talking about a baby, I was like, wow, this should have been obvious, but it took until John Gwynne told me like what was going on to like really understand what was going on with her. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say her perspective was fun though, you know, because of the like capturing sweet animals and then chopping parts off them. I think that was the bit that like crossed the line from fun to me.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah,
how as she
it was
was
really
tracing Grim, he just kept leaving her dastardly monster treats
Yeah.
to do her alchemy with.
I hope she and Astrid gets a happy marriage, gets lots of babies, and live happily ever after together.
That was weird. I did not expect that. The end line. I'm like, what do you mean? You have
Hold
to
on, let
marry
me see what the
someone
inline is because I have to make sure I don't spoil y'all.
Yes, please don't.
Yeah, I appreciated her calling out how Drem was leaving her presents behind. I did find amusement in that. Like,
She was very much giving Frankenstein, and I think it's a good juxtaposition because we figure out what happened to her, and she's like, "Oh, you don't want abominations? Let me create the abominations, and we're all going to be okay with it."
But the thing about
It's
that,
interesting as well because I watched Frankenstein this week, so I'm really in the abomination zone right now.
I'm reading Frankenstein right now.
Oh
okay,
wow!
It's so good, right?
let me
It's
ask
really
this to
good.
make sure I don't. The reveal about the good book, the Bible, basically, did that happen?
Yes, that they wrote it, and it's not the word of Elion. Like
Okay,
they made the book.
So the crazy thing about the abomination thing is that if you take away the Benelim and the Cataclysm, everyone else is an abomination because they're all made by the giants and the fucking cauldron. All the other things are abominations. So we're abominable. And then of all people, it's like, oh my god, abomination. When half the Karens in the field are probably yours, and two of our main characters had your children, and one of our main characters is your child.
Yes, I forgot about Fritha because Fritha's baby daddy's Cole as well, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Like-
forgot about that. I feel like we got so many reveals about her that
Yeah.
I lost track of them all, because then we also have the ultimate reveal at the end where she decides that she's, what's the guy called?
Azeroth.
Azeroth, yeah. She we discover that she's been, I'm assuming that this is her plot and that she's been undermining, is it Gullah that she's working for all along? Which I don't understand what kind of leverage she thinks she has to just be like, okay, we're getting married now.
Honestly, I really think it's like this is what the same way she was whitewashed by the the same way she was brainwashed by the White Wings. I do think she was also in some ways brainwashed by this like order, because girl, you're gonna rescue us and be a priestess, and you're gonna be betrothed to the Demon King, basically. Okay, because obviously they didn't really think he was gonna happen, and he would probably kill her.
It just says that she was chosen by the Kadashim Covens and the Acolyte Assembly to do this. So, I'm not
So
sure.
maybe she didn't betray anyone. She was like, this has been the plan all along.
She's like
Yeah.
Ketrican. She's a sacrifice.
But then maybe if, I was going to say maybe if they've, because they're
Britney's
making
like
abominations anyway, so maybe this thing is like, that's the end game, is to make more halflings, but with him. But then why would he have one woman to be his bride? Like, surely he'd sow his seed far and wide for the most halflings we could possibly have here. You know?
The direction of this conversation is very funny to me, considering that we're all women having this conversation. But on this topic, though, I felt one of the things that was extremely strong, and I felt it in the last book, and I felt it only grow stronger in this book, is and I've said this before, especially because of a lot of things where we've read, the respect that John Gwynne writes towards his female characters and their autonomy, as well as like their experience and being a woman in the circumstances they're in. I'm really impressed. And maybe it's because like I haven't read as much as like other people, but I just feel like generally in these kind of like the high fantasy books written by men and stuff like that do have like some like kind of darker tones, there's a bit more brutality. The women just tend to feel like they are just plot points for men rather than really going into their experiences. And the only ones that I think we've read so far where I was like, this is well done, was Robert. 1 second. Mum! Sorry. She started playing Bollywood music out loud. But this is one of those situations where I was just like, oh no, it's actually really like, especially with Riv, what I really enjoyed was kind of like she has this beautiful exceptional circumstance, and she's treated like like she's meant to be felt like she's like absolutely shit for it. But then with the reveal later, it's like, again, it's society, and I'm sorry, it's like giving the patriarchy, it's giving misogyny, like how men just consistently like manipulate power to always put women in disadvantaged situations, and just Riv just being like this exception that kind of forces the status quo to have to change because Cole is just so obsessed with himself. I don't know, I just found it really interesting.
Speaking of Riv being accepted, my favorite chapter is when she's at Dunsaran with like the order. And
oh
like
my god, she just
looking at
right
everyone
in with
practicing and like learning about the history. That was like my favorite chapter, because like that was the slow moment that we had, so we can just take a moment to see Corbin's legacy. And like even when they were battling it out, I was so scared because I'm like, this has more stake than wrath, because this is like their legacy and it could all just be gone. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I felt.
The moment when they broke through the Starstone metal and released Michael, and Azeroth and Michael's first thing was like, where's Corbin? And I'm like, I know 136 years passed for me, but don't think I forgot you was lying to my boy for years and playing him for a fool. Okay, I did not forget. I did not forget that, sir. But also him and y'all ain't got that yet. Never mind.
I think my favorite chapter in this book was when Drem came to the order, and they were telling him all about like what happened before and who created it, and then obviously he had family there. What is the woman called that runs the order now?
Bryn.
Bryn. Okay, she's Gwendolyn Christie in my head. Like I fan cast her, and it fits perfectly. I had this idea, and I was reading it. I was like, this is like real sweet. So yeah, I don't think though that section lasted long enough, the section in the order, because I think one of my kind of issues with this series is the same as Vicious. Like, we don't have as many slow moments, and yes, they can be boring. I've said this about like the Realm of the Eldlings. Like, yes, 300 pages of Fitz depressed walking across the world is so boring to read. But then when you get to the point where like later on where like everyone's lives are on the line, like you care more because you had those slow moments, even though they weren't the most interesting thing to read at the time that you were reading them. And I feel like we're really lacking in that in this series, and that's why I don't really care. Like, I like Drem's my favorite perspective. I thought that Fritha's perspective was interesting. I still don't care about the other two all that much. Like, this
Not caring about Bletta is
No,
it's so crazy. It's so unfathomable to me.
I cared about Blada in the first book, but then he didn't do shit, and then now he still doesn't do shit. So I'm like, eh.
Yeah, he's definitely the least represented character in here, which means we also have less time to get to know him.
I see.
But
what
like
you mean.
these books are much shorter than Faithful and the Fallen, so that's why we have less space for all the slow moments. So I feel like definitely like,
but like,
you
how are we
just
gonna wrap
added.
up? Like, we've now
Yes.
just done Frozen Azeroth, right? How are we going to get rid of him, get rid of all the Benalim, get rid of all of the Kadashim in 400 pages? Like, how is that supposed to happen?
For starters, book 4, book 3 is like 700 pages, I think.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not. I'm gonna check.
Oh, it is thicker
You're
though.
lying. You're lying.
Wait, hold on. I have it on ebook.
I don't have it yet.
I
I have
it
to
in
be
my
very
hand.
careful when I buy books.
648.
So it's a
Just
lot.
round
it's a
up a
lot.
little.
48.
Oh, is this?
Like,
Ooh.
everything, believe it or not.
It's
But, like,
What was
666.
the page count? 600. Oh,
648.
okay.
No, but that's on ebook. It's 666 on ebook, and you've seen my font size.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh,
It's
God.
648. I have the book in my hands.
648. Man, that's like 2 books. That's the length of 2 books in this series almost.
Like,
Are
he
we-
definitely could have added 150 more pages in this so we could get those slow moments and care more for the characters. Give
But-
Blada some more page time,
Okay.
etc.
As the resident, probably best fan of this series, I'm gonna defend it. So give me a second.
Okay, it's time. One thing I will caveat is that it's that whole thing about intentionality, right? We might not have got those moments with him this time, but like maybe we'll get them next time. I haven't read the next one, so I don't know. But
No.
no. Oh damn, Aaron! Damn, you said killed my expectations.
670 pages. So I think so I started reading John Gwynne when this book came out. I think because I want to say this came out in 2020. And I would almost argue that I think the biggest criticism you'll have people who don't love The Faithful and the Fallen will say is that it's too slow, is that it's too detailed, and that it feels a bit bloated with things not happening. And then so going into the sequel series, obviously he took that feedback and was like, I'm going to condense it because one of the things that I love about this series, and I was editing like a TikTok I made about it earlier, was that you cannot read this on its own. Anybody who says you can, I think that they're wrong. So because all the world building is done in the past series, not even the inside jokes of this, you have had to read that to even understand the players and the stakeholders and the things that are happening. And so I think he took that feedback that it's too long, too bloated, too slow, and like condensed it. And for me, I do think there were a lot like some of my favorite moments were like them traveling, where first of all, Bleda and Reeves' romance. Oh my God, I love them so much, because I'll put a pin in that. What I'm gonna come back to is I think one of the things I really like is how we see all these different characters who have this relationship to Cole, and Cole is like a very central character in the plot because with Bleda, Cole is the person who killed his siblings and threw their heads in front of him when he was a child and snatched him from his mother. With Reeve, Cole is obviously her dad, but even before that, she knew that he was an older godlike figure who had this very intense, flirtatious, like questionable dynamic with her and her mother, who turns out because he's her father, which we also established was gross. And then we also have Fritha, who is motivated by his abuse and misuse of her when she was a young person, and then the system that allowed her to to have to, give birth to her and kill her child, and then that being the anger that fuels her toward wanting to destroy him personally, and then also his coup with the Ben and Lynn. So it's crazy how Cole is so much of a central character, even though he isn't a main character in the story, and holding up this abomination Israfel thing, even though he is probably the biggest contributor to these halflings. And so a lot of the, to me, slower moments, it might not necessarily be when we're doing nothing, but it's these moments like when Drim and Cullen, I can't stand him. Oh, Cullen and Keld and the wolves are going back to Dunsarin, and then the white bear friend, that was corny. John, that was really fucking corny, naming that bear friend. Watching them but have this friendship, and him feeding him this honey, and him deciding that we're gonna be besties. Like, there were so many moments to me that just built up these characters. Like, that is, to me, my favorite thing about John Gwynn's writing is his characters, because I love them so much. I feel so connected to them in so few pages.
I think my issue with why I don't like Riv is because I find her perspective is interesting. I don't like her. I don't like her personality, and so it frustrates me to read her, because obviously, by design, she's very impulsive, she's very rash because of this halfling thing that she's got going on. She goes into blind rages as well. She's also incredibly young and incredibly naive, so it's hard because her perspective is not enjoyable to me, but then it is, like you said, it's interesting. And I think I feel the same kind of with Bledder, in that he's very naive and he's very young, and he's because he's trying to impress Riv, he's a little cocky, but he's not up until the end of this book, he doesn't really do anything, I feel in this series, until he gets betrayed, which was a great moment that I didn't see coming.
I fucking hate her. Can I cuss? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I hate Jen. Oh, ugh.
Yeah, that betrayal was harsh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We all saw it coming.
I didn't expect it.
Better than a character who doesn't act their age. Yeah, but why do we have to read from so many frustrating
Who doesn't
teenagers
act
all
their
the time?
age?
Yeah.
Girl,
What betrayal? It
Patricia.
was
Jen
the
killed
other clan? The other clan, the one that he was supposed to marry, saw him with Riv and then let her
was
father capture the clan. And
Was her
then
name Jen?
I don't know what they did with them. What did he escaped, right? Because Riv saved him. But his mum died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo, yeah. He killed his mom.
Yeah.
She killed his mom, and so he killed her dad.
Yep. Jen, that's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't
The
had
moment
much luck with
he
family
started saying all those nice things to him, I was like, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well.
I didn't like the whole political marriage from the last book, and the fact that, I think I didn't like her in the last book either. And I was just kind of when he so on this whole topic of him writing women quite well, the fact that Jin felt so annoying, I was just I don't trust this bitch, and I hate calling women bitches, but I reserve the right for this situation.
Yeah, she was very abrasive, I would say.
And very obvious.
Where did Drem's perspective end in this book? I don't think it was anything dramatic. I think they were fighting. When they ambushed,
I think they won the fight, and then they were wondering where Gula was, and then we switched to Riv and Bledder.
Yeah, because it was it was a distraction because they actually wanted Drossel.
Yeah.
And then it switched to that. So yeah, Drem wasn't actually super relevant to the big dynamic conclusion. Yeah. And his perspective was fine where it left. It's everybody else who's in a mess.
It's so interesting, the different roles that we see the characters play, not only in the story, the plot with the Benellim and the Catachin, but also with each other and with their journey. Drim, for example. Drim is the character who knew everything because he was right there in the desolation in the wild. So he actually knew what the hell was going on with Gullah and Fritha and all of that. And so he was responsible for bringing the information to the rest of the characters. But then you have Reeve. Also, one of the things that Reeve does is she's a foil to Fritha. But also that's why Blood is important, because in Reeve's perspective, she wasn't really well liked or well treated in the White Wings, even though she had like not I don't want to say a claim, but she had because of who her mothers were. She wasn't treated well, and because of her anger issue, she was always bristled at and things like that. And so when we see her have this relationship with Bletta, who she had a fascination with from a while ago, he's kind of the first person to be nice to her and to see her and to be kind with her, even when she is getting enraged or whatever. Like she was the person that could calm her in a storm. And Bletta is what kept Riv from becoming Fritha in the story. Otherwise, she was ready to go off the deep end multiple times.
That's true. I guess I don't like the plot line in this of like, do you know where she picks up that soldier and she's like shaking him in the sky, and then like Bletta distracted her. I don't like this trope of like he's the one thing that calms her down. Like in romance, we expect it.
We see that all the time in romance, but it's the
But in
opposite.
fantasy,
Vera.
if I read a romance, okay, I know that it's going to be cringe. So when it is cringe, it's like, okay, I expected this. Like I expected it to go in this direction. But when I'm reading fantasy and it goes in that direction, I'm like, come on. Like,
The thing,
no.
You know that whole thing about like, you know, when there's that trope of like the girl grabs the guy and is like, look at me, this isn't. But obviously, I'm not saying that he did that. It was just very like, look at me. I don't know.
Also, I wonder if it's Cole because the other. Maybe I know they're older, so maybe it's a maturity thing, but the other half bending limbs aren't like that.
Are there any more of the Benaleems?
I don't know.
Oh, I see what you've just done. I see what
What?
I do think they made a point of saying that her being a teenager is part of it, and it's her hormones on top of discovering she's suddenly sprouting wings and stuff. I think there's some of that in there.
But also, just like imagine finding out your entire life was a lie, like in a fundamental way.
Yeah,
like your mom isn't your mom, your sister's your mom. The hot older man who was crushing on you, he's your father. Actually,
did you feel that romantic and kind of uncomfortable undertone in this one? Because I didn't feel it in this one like I did in the last one, but maybe I'm stupid.
Cole and Riv?
Yeah.
No, because everybody knew then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he stopped once he found out. He didn't know in the first book.
Yeah.
He was trying to kill her.
Because I was just like, I was kind of worried that they were gonna do, I don't know. But they didn't. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, it kind of made
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go on. I was going to say, I think there's another hybrid. Because if you remember when Bryn brought Dram to that tunnel to show him like the magic book.
Mm-hmm.
And then he spotted a feather that dropped down to the floor and it's like brown and white.
Oh.
I think maybe Fritha's child or someone's child. Because there's no way that we got that for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whose child that could be
logic.
because of where it is. Is that relevant?
Yeah.
Not sure. But because I think I remember Bryn saying like, oh yeah, we have someone or something protecting this book. So I'm not sure whether it might be another hybrid or something.
That's interesting. The only thing that I was going to say is that at least we may call it slightly less creepy because the attempted incest wasn't intentional. And when he found out that it would have been incest, he stopped. So it's like the one point that he gets.
Okay, Jules, we actually got facts for this. Afra is 16 years older than Reeve. So Afra was also a teenager when she was with Cole. Fritha was also a teenager when she was with Cole. Riv is a teenager when Cole was trying to get at her and then flirting with her sister in front of her saying, well, you liked it.
Bruh.
He does like them young.
No.
And more than liking them young, in any circumstance, it would be a power imbalance. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More so because the White Wings, more than anyone, are taught to worship and revere the Benelim.
Yeah, there's 3 levels of power play in this, and I think again, this is just me being overly feministy. Maybe it's just like you've got the whole aspect of him essentially being like a god to them, and he literally says that. He explicitly says, "We are the closest thing you'll get to gods." Blah blah blah. Those dynamics at play. There's obviously the male-female dynamic at play, and that's further goes along with again like there aren't other feathered women. It's only her, and there's a reason for that. They intentionally put those systems at play so women are not put in any kind of equal standing to them. And then the third aspect is obviously the age dynamic. He's significantly older than her. So when you put age, gender, and race dynamics all into it, he's very knowingly being like, his arrogance comes from the fact that he thinks he can get away with doing anything and using anyone to his own ends. And it's just like, ugh, he's the worst kind of man.
But he's so fun to read about because he's so complex.
He is, but I can't wait I just want to shred his face into pieces.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's the confidence with which he carries himself. Like we know how fucked up he is, but he doesn't acknowledge how fucked up he is. He's just like, oh yeah, I had a kid. And
Yeah,
I shouldn't have done that. But doesn't acknowledge the fact that it was practically a child and that there's the power imbalance and all of that. Like it's just the whoopsie, had a child kind of thing is the only thing that he acknowledges.
Yeah, it's giving like, you know, like when you read about like Greek myths and stuff like that, and like how the gods will just come and descend onto women, and it's like meant to be seen as a great thing, and they just feel like they can take whatever they want. He feels like that, and I feel like that his arrogant personality and the way he feels like he's just owed anything and he can take anything from the world, and everyone's at his whims, especially how manipulative it is, and it carries on working in his benefit to degrees. That's where it's just like, oh, I hate you so much. But he is very fun to read about, and I'm not going to deny that.
I think that is one thing that is a bit more dynamic, and I can tell John Gwynne has grown as a writer, because if you put it in black and white, Cole is one of the good guys, but he himself is not a good man. He's not a good person. But in the battle between good and evil, he's on the better side. But like when we think about the way that the Benelim have colonized and conquered these people and have in some ways kind of enslaved them in some capacity, are taking flesh ties and subjecting these people to their rule, it's like they're not good people either. And so we don't have just like a clear-cut good and a clear-cut bad, because even when you follow Fritha, the more you learn about Fritha's story, I find it hard to be angry with her or to think that she's doing the wrong thing, because again, the Benelim are not good, and then one of your most powerful revered members is and many of them, as we learned later on in the story, are abusing young girls and forcing them to, you know, abort or like kill their own children. And there's a whole process and a place where you leave them. So no, I'm not going to be mad at a young woman who was manipulated by her gods. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to be that mad. I'm not.
It's kind of like I feel like it's touching on the idea of colonization, especially the way they try to like control what's happening in the rest of the lands, and also a bit of like religious psychosis, but also there's a lot of like religious indoctrination that you can just see throughout this, and like people breaking away from that in different degrees, and it's quite real to different people's experiences, especially because it's essentially a cult. But in some circumstances, the way people treat or weaponize religion is no different to a cult. So, and I feel like that's what you see happening, and especially with how Fritha goes in the complete opposite end. It's like the level of hatred someone might feel after they've like broken away from a cult. I don't know. I watched a lot of cult documentaries, and I could feel echoes of that.
That's fun.
I think it was interesting in the last live show where we said that we thought that I've forgotten the sister's name, Arthea, something in A.
Afra.
That we thought that she was the mother. We were just like theorizing about it, and then like once we almost got a confirmation, I was like, "Oh my god, you're so clever."
There are certain fantasy books where it's like I read enough fantasy books that I know this is the case, because their dynamic was so odd.
Oh, for
it
sure.
was so odd.
I do almost think that the Benelim are worse than the Kadashim, because there's like the Kadashim aren't trying to be good. They're not masquerading as good. They are the bad guys. They do bad things, and they are straight up about the bad things that they're doing. Whereas the Benelim are like the bad guys in disguise. It also like speaks to a lot of, because there's a lot of parallels that you can draw between the Kadashim and the Benelim in this. So like straight up, it's like heaven and hell, and like God and the devil. is like kind of the parallels that we're dealing with if you bring it into the terms of like modern religion. But then it's also like speaks volumes about just general like corruption. You could like parallel it to like billionaires and politicians and the level of corruption that operates like there, where you have these people who are seemingly good, but kind of like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that nobody really talks about. So I feel like it's interesting because even though the Benelim weren't good, we thought that they were good in The Faithful and the Fallen, so it was very easy to like stand on their side and like root for them because like Corbin was also to some extent like teaming up with them, whereas in this it's like, okay, now we don't have a good, we have the Order and then we have bad, like everything else is bad. So it's difficult because there's like so many more layers of complexity here, and that's why I am nervous about how this is going to wrap up, because this isn't a case of like it was in the first one of like, okay, let's stop Azeroth from rising. This is like, we need to eradicate all of the immortal creatures in this world to have a good ending. And if that doesn't happen, then I would be very reluctant to say that this series is not going to be revisited in the future, because it's not like we haven't achieved peace. It's like the fantasy equivalent of a happily ever after in a romance. Like we haven't achieved a peace unless everyone is gone at this point.
But even
I'm
if
just
everyone
waiting
was
for Elion, honestly. I'm just waiting for Elion to show up.
Oh my god, yeah, when's he going to come back? Does it even exist? Did he ever exist?
Exactly.
Are we going to find out that Benelim are just Kadashim, but like with white wings?
I don't know. I'm just
The
waiting
way
for Elion.
Aaron's mouth opened,
yeah, I don't like that rewrite of history. I'm just gonna skip past it because I want to preserve that experience for y'all. The Benelli, I'm trying to say, oh, Corbin, he was barely there. It's crazy to me. And my people like,
that made me laugh.
The disrespect for our guys is crazy.
But also, I mean, I think this is one of the things that I love about a really lived-in fantasy world is that no matter what you do, if you leave people or any species alone long enough, somebody's going to get in their head that they can control everyone else. Because I can imagine in this world that after the Benelim seemed good because we only saw them for like 50 pages, maybe. They were, they came in and did what they had to do, and that was it. Whereas now they've had 130 years where they're top dog. And so absolute power corrupts, absolutely, as always. But then I can imagine even in a world where, let's say, the supernatural creatures were not around anymore, in 100 years there will still be another type of uprising with something else. Because I mean, just think about our regular world today. Like someone somewhere would do something, and then people would gather around them, and then they would decide that because I think I know best, that applies to everyone. And this is kind of like a story. You kind of see it, I would say, most that I can think of right now would be like Cosmere. It's like how the world is evolving. We're on different planets and different things, but no matter what is happening, not evil prevails, but evil rises. Whether it's in man, whether it's in creature, and that's something that I can see. Like at the end of The Faithful and the Fallen, it could have been the end, but there was more story to tell. At the end of this, it is an ending, but might not be the ending. There could be more story to tell because people.
I think the thing that frustrates me a little bit about John Gwynne is that like he isn't forthcoming. Like Brandon Sanderson's like, yes, I'm going to write 75 more novels in the Cosmere and they're going to link up like this and you'll have all of your answers. John Gwynne doesn't tell us whether he's writing more in the world. And if I know that there's more coming in the world, I'm okay with an imperfect ending. But if I don't know that, then I'm not okay with it not having like the perfect resolution, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think
Like,
he knew the world.
Like
he was
when
like, I started writing this book as like a hobby while I was, staying at home with my kids. And now it's my job.
I believe the Blood Swan saga is the same, isn't it? Where people believe that he'll return to that world and write more there.
Just like Mr. Abercrombie will return to for the First Law.
Hopefully, because the ending of those books.
What ending?
I think also it's with a fantasy series where everything is tied up. I don't like that because I'm like that's not realistic. It's not a realistic book, but that's fine. Whereas stories where it's like they're kind of like with Robin Hobb. Going into it when it was being published, nobody knew there were going to be more series. Robin Hobb didn't even know there were going to be more series. But then when you're reading it like in 2020, you're like, wow, I perfectly see how she set that up. And she's like, I didn't. I really just was like, what can I do here?
But with Robin Hobb, I feel like it's different because every series ends. Like every series has an end, where if she never wrote anything else, it would be absolutely fine. It's like she's writing a new book now in the Realm of the Eldlings, but if it's never published, that will be fine because the way that the last book in the Realm of the Eldlings ends is a perfect end to the series. Like it brings everything together.
Realm of the Eldlings book.
She was writing a Bloodstained book, but COVID, so we lost that one.
She also has, I believe that she still writes everything by hand, or like she writes her notes by hand, and she also has arthritis, I think. So it takes her a long time to actually write.
The chickens.
I respect that. I didn't realize that there was more Elderlings stuff happening.
Based on her age and the fact that she hasn't finished writing the first book in what would be a new series, I doubt we're going to get a new series. But she is writing a book for people who haven't read The Realm of the Eldlings, I don't want to spoil it, but she's writing a new book from the perspective of the new character that we have in the last trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind. Move on.
Sorry, that's sidetracked.
I also read that, Patricia. There's an interview in the new editions where people ask if he's going to write more. It says, if you were to explore a future story set further ahead, what kind of societal or technological developments might you envision for this world? And he said, if I went back to the Banished Lands, there would be another jump forwards in time. So the obvious thing would be to make it more early medieval. That's all he said.
Think of when we freaking read a Western.
He would be like Sanderson's Mistborn era.
Just don't even talk to me about that. I hate it so much. Like,
it's so fucking good. It's so underrated, which is crazy to say for a Sanderson, but it is.
You can fight back on this one, Aaron.
Who wants to read a Western in the year of 20? Like, sorry, I'm choking on my own spit.
Well,
we tolerate these men writing these books, okay? We are strong feminists, but we tolerate these fantasy books written by men, and then they go and insult us by writing a Western.
Yeah.
Listen, Wax and Wayne, I was crying. I loved them so much. Woo!
It's not even like a modern Western with feminism either. Like, the masculinity in that series is overpowering. If I saw them men come in, I would cross the road to avoid them. They're so toxic. Strong feelings about Miss Bonnier too. I hate it.
Never would have guessed.
I'm gearing up for Cosmere reread. I'm so hyped. Especially after when it recontextualizes everything. Ugh.
I actually like Miss Bonaria too, but I haven't read the last one.
You need to.
Yeah, but now we are rereading all of them, so now I don't bother reading it now.
Did I put that on my list?
What?
No, you didn't. It's too late now.
Boo.
Who is that, Patricia? John Gwynne or Brandon Sanderson? I'm assuming John Gwynne. Yeah.
You cannot have one live show without mentioning Sanderson or Robin Hobb.
It's true.
As it should
Icons, both of them. Gwynne, yeah.
I love
a standalone in between the two series would be great because I still, you know what, if you want to write a romance, Mr. John Gwynne, if you're watching this, I would like the romance between Corwin and Veratus, please. You will sell lots of copies because everyone likes the spicy romance right now.
Wait,
we never got to see
them.
We never got to see them, and it was a tragedy, honestly.
What was the last thing Cullen did? Who I can't stand. What was the last thing he did in this book?
I think he was just with Drem and they were fighting people.
Because he ran off.
According to the comments, John Gwynne has already sold 4 copies of this romance.
Okay. I also think it's so interesting that Corbin's grandson, who I would say Corbin is he was a very measured young man. Kind of, it's such a hothead.
Why Corbin was hothead too?
Not like Corbin 2.0.
It's because he's grown up being the grandson of like Corwin. I think he's related to Corwin, right? Not Corbin. Well, both of them, but he's on Corwin's line. Or is he on
Corbin's grandson, I think. And then
he's grown up in the order being like told obviously about what an amazing person his granddad was and how he's like the grandson of this legend, and he's just like full of the confidence of that. And because he's so young, he has no concept of fear. Like he doesn't know what fear is or caution, as nobody does when they're young.
It was great.
So yeah, I don't think it's
like that.
hothead.
But
I
he's
think it's
gone
that
from his
like
fun.
who are his parents alive?
No,
No.
No.
He was essentially raised by Bryn.
Mhm.
So
they haven't been alive for a long time.
I think the way he was like
Corbin
a kid
had a lot of loss when he was young, so he had a reason to fear, essentially. Whereas, I mean, Cullen's lived a pretty blessed life, really.
Yeah, he ends up covered in blood, excited about the fact that this was something they'll write songs about, and eager for more fighting. And everyone else is just like, huh?
I love how Drim, like in the beginning of the book one, like not that his dad was a nobody, but he only really had his dad. He didn't have anyone. And then over the course of the first book, in the second book more so, we see him find this family. But then he has this like really anxiousness about himself as he's heading toward Dunstarin, because he's like, this is my actual family, like this is my blood relation, and I don't know how I'm going to be received, especially now when he learns that like the reason that they went away was to prevent him from being taken as a ward. And it's also interesting because it's like, okay, well, if he had been taken, he might have been more of a blooded character. And then seeing him like not be a warrior with all the skills that he has as a tanner or like as a trapper, like he's still a badass warrior. And then him meeting Bran and Bran like just being immediately in love with him, like not in a gross way, but just like, you are my family, because she obviously knew him when he was like a toddler. You are my family. I'm so happy to see you. Like, this means the world to me. And he was just like, wow, I'm finally home. Like I have not just my aunt, but I have a family now. I have friends now. I have people who care about me, like with Hammer and Friend and Cullen and Keld and the Wolves. And it was just so nice to see him go from thinking he had nothing, like when he was doing that whole trap for all the people in the house. That was so badass. And then I'm alone in the world, to just not that long later being like, wow, I have a really rich life and people who love and care for me in such a short time. A mortal enemy too, but hey, you win some, you lose some.
One of the things that was also kind of interesting is like how both books kind of started with Drem's perspective and two very different relationships with bears. Because like the first one started with, that bear came down and they were like, why are there bears in this area? And like, it was havoc for him and his dad, and they were trying to get away from the thing. He was trying to attack them. And then this one starts and he has a good relationship with Hammer, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of like that they showed how much things in his perspective have changed by the company he surrounds himself with, and just like the relationship he's formed with this animal, which in the first book, like, am I making any sense? There's like a poetic parallel in how they set up both books. And I think one thing that I really appreciate about Gwynne is like, he's not like crazy poetic or fanciful in that way, but I do like that he very explicitly makes some of these kind of imageries and these parallels quite evident to readers if you just take in the scene as a whole and you visualize it a bit more. So I don't know, I really appreciate that. One thing that he does also carry on really doing, which was kind of funny, and I especially noticed this for Drem and Fritha chapters, he really loves to always end chapters on some kind of like, oh my god moment. Like, it was the Queen of Sirach who was watching Riv get away. It was blah, 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 blah. Like, it was always like some like way that the chapters would end, which would be super dramatic, but then we switch POVs and I'm just like, okay, you didn't have to do this for every chapter, but okay.
Gotta keep that pace up, gotta keep you reading.
I just seen Olivia's comment about when he had a breakdown, Drem had a breakdown, and Vern hugged him.
Yeah, because it's okay for men to show emotion in the John Gwynne universe.
I feel like something that's very clear about John Gwynne is that he loves animals, and he also loves kids in a way, like I don't feel like I have the patience to have kids, because people, like, I just don't have the patience, and it really, really frustrates me. Whereas I feel like the way that John Gwynne like writes teenagers, having, how old are his sons? Are they like early 20s now?
Early, mid, late. One of them is like married with kids.
Oh, so they're like well in their 20s. So like he's had 3 teenagers, and I feel like it shows because the way that he writes kids is like somewhat realistic, but like with a level of understanding to it. that like the people, like a lot of people write kids as like they're irrelevant and they're stupid, which honestly I feel like that could be how I wrote kids because I don't have the patience to deal with them, whereas he writes them as like, and the way that he writes older characters relating to them and communicating with them, I feel like really shows that he has like an appreciation for kids. Like he's a man who enjoys being a father.
He loves being a dad, and he loves animals. Like if you look up like for a while, his professional author photo was like a picture of him like laid out in this chair in a field, and he had his like big hound dogs around him. He had all these weapons, and so also the animals always get a love story too. So are we gonna see Hammer and Friend's baby or their lineage in the next series, just like we saw the Wolven pups? And they're like, no, we don't play about the Wolven house. You do not. And then all the
and we get Kraft and his lineage, and
that's what I'm still alive. They're like, please.
I was surprised by that.
What about Storm's
But
babies?
not Flick. Poor Flick. When Patricia asked what happened to Flick, I think I was triggered. It's like because I kind of repressed what happened to him, and I was like, oh no.
I can't believe we have a talking drag. What does the world have to do?
I think I do empathize with Fritha, but it is the chopping animals up and sticking them back together that really just tips me over the edge. Because when she killed that drake after she'd like bonded with it and hatched it from an egg and raised it like a puppy, and then she was like, oh, I hope it forgives me, and then killed it, I was like, I can't anymore with you.
The sickest thing Fritha did was she turned her homegirl Elise into the snake woman, the worm woman.
Yeah.
She slithered up on her body. I listened to the audio.
No, stop.
I listen to the audio. The sounds that they make for Elise is very.
Oh.
I kind of want to hear it.
It is very
I have to
especially
say,
birds as well, because they have like a childlike nature to them because of how they speak, but like limited speech, and she just chopped him up. And I don't know how she got his, like, was it a blood transfusion or something she did, because she said she wanted the bloodline out of him because she used the wings of the big bat, the drake, and then she sometimes made the drake speak.
Maybe because we know in this series John Gwynne doesn't explain the magic system, so it's the same in this series too.
Because it's not a magic system. It is just a world that magic, like arcane type magic exists. I think, who is it? I think it was George R. R. Martin and Brandon Sanderson kind of had this little debate on like a panel recently. George R. R. Martin was like, I fucking hate a magic system. That's stupid.
Oh no.
I'll send you the clip, and the girls are like,
but who said it, John or George?
George.
George.
He's on record saying he doesn't like magic systems are stupid. Like the magic just it is and it does.
Sat next to Brandon Sanderson. Oof. Apparently, is that the panel where he was being like an arsehole the entire time, and did somebody ask him, is Brandon Sanderson going to finish?
Yes, somebody asked
like on that panel, and he threw like a strop about it. Yeah.
What did he say?
You're saying when you die, do you want this guy over here?
Honestly, well, what did George answer?
Go look it up. Girl, it's crazy.
I think he was being a bit stroppy through the entire panel, so somebody asked him a question that would intentionally piss him off, and it did.
And I have to Google.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if you are a Sanderson fan and you have read the State of the Sanderson is pretty booked up literally until he dies. He actually doesn't even have the time to finish off if he wanted to. He genuinely doesn't.
And honestly, at this point, I'd rather he finish Cosmere.
Yeah.
No, but I think Sanderson could have finished like Song of Ice and Fire poop in a month done.
I think he has his normal grouchy self, but as a person who has been in this industry as long as he has, you have to be aware that the type of question and the way that he answered that specific thing in relation to who is on the panel with him is offensive or is demeaning. Like, come on now, let's be serious. You can be as grouchy as you want to be, I guess, but come on.
Magic systems aren't for me is different from magic systems are stupid.
Yeah, and also like this is why we say we have classifications and we try to talk about things in like light and hard magic systems. And you could have a combination of both. In certain, like I think my favorite thing is when there is a combination of both in a story. Like there's certain magics that people can comprehend and understand where it comes from, and then there's other things that are left mystical and mysteries and stuff. But like that kind of, I want to see this interview first and foremost. But also that response was like really rude. But also this whole thing where people carry on asking if Brandon Sanderson is going to finish off George's books. Real question: do they even seem like they write like their writing is similar? Because I've not read Brandon Sanderson yet. I have a bunch of his books to read.
Girl,
But
no,
what I was going to say is what I've heard from people who have read his books is that they are. There's a lot of words and there's a lot of books, but he's easily digestible. He's not like really difficult to get into and things like that. And I can't say the same for George. So that's why I kind of wanted to understand where it came from.
I think he could write Game of Thrones in terms of the writing style and the way that he writes, but I just think that the type of series that Game of Thrones is very different from the type of fantasy that he writes. Like he is like a hard magic system logic kind of man with like intricate plot, which Game of Thrones does have. But I don't know. Brandon Sanderson wouldn't be the man for the job, aside from that he writes incredibly quickly.
I mean, if anyone, it would be like a Joe Abercrombie or like what's his name?
Abercrombie.
No,
Please,
Joe
anyone.
Abercrombie, please.
Or like a R. Scott Backer type. But Sanderson wouldn't write the type, the incest, the things that George writes about. Sanderson would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. His writing is very.
John Gwynne could do it. He has lots of POVs.
It's very approachable, but it's also very tame as far as the type of content there is, even with the violence, the like graphic, grape, and this. He would not write that. But also, since we're being controversial, y'all know I love that. If Game of Thrones was published today, it wouldn't be nearly as big as it is at all.
100%.
So
it's also with
I mean, it wouldn't, but then that's also like it's hard because it's a building, like it's a staple of the genre that so many other books have tried to mimic. So like it's impossible to say whether it would be as big as it is now, because if it didn't exist, then fantasy wouldn't look anything like it does now.
fantasy would look different, but what I really mean when I say that is just like the type of fantasy that is really getting popular, the type of fantasy that is like the fantasy we look of as today is very different than the type of fantasy that George R. R. Martin writes. So it's a completely different market. And I think that's also part of where there's a stupid question to even ask, like, would Brandon Sanderson finish out Game of Thrones, because they write two different types of fantasy, like not even in the same ballpark at all. Because you could easily argue that Brandon writes sci fantasy. Really, that's really what he's writing. Because all of his books have a science, more than a science, a speculative, beyond like fantastical element to them.
I think people just say that because Brandon Sanderson wrote off Wheel of Time, and then he writes really fast, like.
Because then he's also got like Name of the Wind to do, and then The Gentleman Bastard, Game of Thrones, like
it's like just a joke, I think, in general, because Brandon Sanderson produces like 150 books a year, and all these other dudes produces like one every 20 years.
What's crazy is Brandon and Patrick told each other the endings to their series once, like how the Ultimate Universe would end.
Which series? Oh, like my god, like the Cosmere, like the end of the Cosmere. Oh my god.
Let's break into Patrick's house.
Let's kidnap Patrick Roth.
We can ask him about the end of Name of the Wind and the end of Cosmere. That's two flies in one go.
So in terms of Time of Blood, what haven't we covered?
Don't know.
What do we think is going to happen?
Everything is going to be good. We're going to have rainbows. Blood on Riv is going to make like 14 babies. Frita is going to get married to Azeroth and go to like the Soul Realm, where they're going to have 150 babies, and then the end.
Is there a time jump between book 2 and 3?
No.
Aaron?
Okay.
Straight in. I think Cole has to die. But it doesn't. That isn't the end of the regime. They all got to go. Yeah. I actually, having said it in here, and because like when we discuss things and things become clearer, and the way that they said in this that like there is no Book of Elyon, they just made it up.
Yeah.
And the fact that they made up the prophecy about the bright star and the black sun, I don't think Elyon exists. I don't know where the Benelline came from that originally differentiated them from Azeroth and the Kadashim, but I'm not convinced that he ever exists. Because at this point, what proof do we have that he was ever here? Literally, like, what thing can you say is proof that Elyon ever existed?
Do you think it could be a situation where it's like someone became a myth became a legend over time?
Yes, I think that the like Elyon was created by the Benalim for some reason many years ago, maybe to differentiate them from the Kadashim or create a point of contention. And I feel like these two have been in this eternal war forever, and they needed to take it into the mortal realm because they wanted the land and they wanted to live that experience, which was made clear with the way that they like manipulated this prophecy. And also they wanted to win for whatever reason against the Kadashim.
I would argue that in Wrath, if we go back to Wrath, we had just as much evidence of Elyon's existence as we had of Azeroth.
Did we?
Which is none. That's what I'm saying. Elyon is a legit deadbeat dad of the universe. He's like, y'all disappointing me. I'm out. You'll never hear from me again.
Oh my god, but we will find out in this book because Azeroth is here. Because last time he popped out of the cauldron and he got frozen into a metal statue and nobody ever had a conversation with him.
Child, and he a lot more than conversing, and it's disgusting.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of the I don't. The thing is, I agree with Idle Book One in the sense that I think that this is a situation in history where, like, let's say a man becomes like known as a king in history and retellings, and over time become as a god, like, and then that narrative is then leveraged against people, which is exactly what you were saying with what the Bellalim did. But another thing that goes through my head is like I know one of the ideal situations is basically all of them just F off back to where they are, but that doesn't necessarily fix the conflict and the fact that like history has been emblazoned with these creatures and these peoples and their effects on just normal mankind. So ideal situation, they all fuck off, but I don't see that happening either.
I feel like they could all go back to where they came from because I feel like that's a very popular like fantasy thing, isn't it? Like they all go back from where they came from. We close the void, and then in 500 years in the future, somebody else unlocks it, and we all start again.
Yeah, because that would be the next series. Them just unlocking it again and be like, "Hi guys."
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? This has made me think about the fundamental, let's call it, biological issue that was presented to us in A Court of Frost and Starlight. Okay.
What? Okay. Yes. The coochie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have called it that, but yes. And so,
wait, no, that's Silver Flames. That's Silver Flames.
So very much, it could have been a real situation where the baby is born regular and then their wings sprout. Sarah, did we not consider that?
True.
That's it.
Well, no, because we had to make Reese the main character in a book that had nothing to do with him. So.
Oh, don't remind me. Actually,
how was that?
We could
out of that cooter.
No, we must fashion the vagina.
Oh, does cesarean not exist in the what is this world called?
But okay, I'm sorry. Could you imagine how painful that would be? Like in this. No, because it's like, yeah, you have like, you know what? You actually make a really good point about cesareans. Because a part of me was wondering, like, if you had the hole and then you cut out 2 extra like flaps, wings come out. But I was like, hold on, no, that's actually really awful. That's not how cesareans work.
That could be your why.
No. Again, this is where my brain was for some reason forgot how cesareans work. No, that's cutting out of a tummy. You're right. I'm so sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about right now, and I'm really glad I don't.
You don't want to.
I don't understand a single word of what you're saying.
That's crazy.
Like that comment. What if Mikael was Elyon all along?
He ain't. Let me just tell you that he's not.
Yeah,
he's not. Also, the way
do we just have one new perspective again? Or do we have any new perspectives?
We get Jen's perspective.
Who?
Oh fuck! Why does John Gwynne like he writes his book and then he looks at it and he goes, "Which character in this book is the worst one? Let's do that perspective next."
Yeah.
Whose perspective do we get?
Jen.
Jen.
It's as insufferable as you think it is.
Jen!
Sorry,
But
that
I
was
think
really
like,
loud.
it could be a situation of like trying to humanize her and some shit, and I'm
He's
like, okay,
not.
listen, yeah, okay, cool. You know what? Maybe she's another awful person like Fritha,
You know
but
what?
unlike Fritha, there's
I think it's
probably no
really
redeeming
rude.
her.
I keep
Think it's
thinking,
really
why do
rude
we
that
get
she
so many
didn't-
like terrible perspectives in these books? But then I remember we always had them because we had the queen. Was the queen called Rin in the last one, and also Riff?
We had
Which I'm still
Lycos.
so
Yes,
mad
we
at
had,
Rin.
what's his name? The E guy, the one's dad, the one who started all this shit.
Avnis.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, him. Yeah,
And then we got the Trader Giant perspective.
We had
Mhm.
Lycos. That was enough.
Yeah, exactly. You got to know
But
what the
also-
vampires
I,
do because we don't have cell phones or the news.
I would like Cole's perspective. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I would rather have
Yeah.
Cole than Jin, but and besides, it's tainting the name Jin because I just think about Jin from BTS, and now we have
Oh my
this Jin, which is ruining the name.
Mm.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, but one is a conniving, evil little wench, and the other one has a song about tuna. I think it's easy
I
to make a
know,
difference.
but and then
I
every time
really
I
like
see the
Cole's
word
songs, like,
Cullen,
Tuna, it's great.
every time I see the word Cullen, like Edward Cullen is like running on the page for me, and I can't stop it.
Mm.
Oh, I'm imagining Cullen from Dragon Age.
Hmm.
No, it's just the
Fair.
Cullen family. It is superior
It's
in my
just the
mind.
sparkling vampire.
Yes,
Yeah.
Cullen is like a sparkling vampire running into battle.
Of vampires, I do love the vampiric element that has been introduced. It was introduced in book 1, but we see it more so
Mhm.
with like the 7 and all their children. Also, shout out to the originals because now the situation where if you kill one of the originals, you kill everyone that they sired, and that is a very cool
Mhm.
thing. Also makes it easier to fight all them. But I like that so much because it's like you just gotta find the original, and then it's a wrap for this whole battle.
It was a very good coincidence because I started rewatching Vampire Diaries the other day. It's really good.
I want to
Isn't
know kind of
Cole
like
also
as we've discussed all of the magic in this just is, but I would like to know the logic behind them being vampiric.
Because it's
Probably
cool.
because it's blood magic. That would be just my guess. It's because it started out with blood.
Yeah.
And they have to get bitten to get infected. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a vampire zombie connect, like hybrid.
Well,
I
and if
do like
Fred
how
had
we've got like little random groups around going, oh, there's like this really weird plague everywhere. Help. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, enjoy that.
Well, and if Fritha
Maybe
used the
Mary's
blood
doing
to get the voice too, there's more blood tie-ins.
Mm.
And I also love how they were like, we can't even do anything because the fucking pharaohs, they eat everything. They eat the horses, they eat the shrubs, they eat the critters in the forest. Like, you just let them loose and they ate everything.
Sounds like
It
me.
doesn't seem like a great business model. What were you saying, Zaf?
No, just saying sounds like me in the fridge. I'm sorry. It was really bad.
Sam.
Back to being on Cole's head, I think there would be interesting perspectives in there, but then he'd be lusting after all the little teenagers, and I don't need to be reading that part of it.
Yeah, no, that would
Maybe
not be
like
fun.
his second in command, we could, see Cole, but not be stuck in his head.
One thing that's interesting about this series is I'm not surprised. It is very hetero, which is fine. But I do know that in a situation, it wouldn't just be the girls. It would actually be the boys more because there wouldn't be because the actual sin of it all is the procreation part. That's what like Idrifil was. He's like, you're doing this because the thing that it will happen is it leads to procreation. It's like he was cutting old boy wings off. But like if they weren't doing it with the girls, that wouldn't be an issue. And
I'm just surprised no one's gay. Like even with the whole situation where Drem was traveling with like Cullen and what's his face, Jolt, whatever. Bro, why? Come on, bro.
That's what it's aggressively heterosexual, which is fine. But it's just interesting.
Is it fine? Is it
not
fine?
One, not none of y'all a little bit cute. Shut up.
We all know, but at least Faith on the Fallen was very gay. Like Nathir and Varadis were boyfriends, as we know. So.
That's what makes it even stranger that it's so heterosexual because they had a hard on for each other the whole book.
I know. I miss them.
I just really
Actually,
don't feel it, and I am somebody who likes to make a relationship game that isn't, but I just didn't get those vibes with them
It's because
too.
you were too in love with him. You couldn't see the romance he had going on the side.
I mean, true. Veratus being gay would have been upsetting for me personally. So maybe that's why.
That's what
And
I'm
that's
saying.
here.
All the Benelin and all the Catachan are all men. They had nothing to do in eternity.
So what have they been doing for all of this millennia without any women?
I mean,
Ranking
exactly.
alone.
This may be why they went crazy when they had all these, youthful young ladies around. But yeah. Also, I love when Macklin was mentioned, they were like, this like the greatest warrior that Banished Land has ever known. And then I still think of that line when Six says, I've only been beaten 3 times. It was Corvin, it was Veritas, and it was Gar. And I was just like,
Are you okay?
no.
I miss Veritas a lot.
Somebody mentioned it in the comments earlier, but one of my favorite moments was Byrne beating Cole in a fight.
Oh, she put them. Woo! He was like, "Oh, you can't do this." She was like, "Hold on, hold my beer. Let me step up to my neck. I'm the leader of this order for a reason."
Yeah.
Women.
Because Cole saw him, he was like, "Is that the person that was supposed to be my ward 10 years ago? 15 years ago? Is that him? Give him to me. How would I give you anything?"
Which, like, babe, just let it go. Like, it was a long time ago. What are you going to do with him now? He's like, what, 20?
Yeah.
20 plus.
Let the boy live.
I think this is the thing that makes Cole, Azeroth, even what was the one guy's name? Not the Michael equivalent of the Catachan. What was his name? It started with C.
Gula?
No. From the first series. Nathan's advisor, the guy.
Oh
my god.
Hey.
It's sitting there.
It's C something, I think. Yeah, Dream is 21.
Not Coraline.
Oh my god, this is so upsetting.
What?
Yes. Caldius? Yeah.
The thing that makes Calidus, Nether, somewhat Cole, Azeroth much more interesting and compelling as villains is that they are also charismatic. And that's kind of where Gullah fails. And why nobody gives a fuck about him at any point in the story. It's like, we don't even talk about him. It's because he has no personality. Like the one eye, you could have made the patch sexy if we were interested in it. But he doesn't really have much personality. He's not charming. And so Cole is evil, but he is charming. Even we all talked about in book 1, it's like it either gave you the ick or you were intrigued, but you felt something. Mm-hmm. With Azeroth, even like the dreams or his, especially in book 3, girl, everything's going on. It's like you kind of can't look away from it. With Calidus, he was charming. He pulled you in. With Gullah, it's just like he's just there. He's just big and bad and evil. He's got one eye and a bastard daughter. And that's it.
Literally, every time somebody mentions Gullah, I'm like, who's that?
Yeah.
He's barely even a part of the series. Like, people talk about him, but where is he? Like, he's there for 2 seconds, then he leaves again. What are you doing?
Gotten him out, like, without Gullah and Further, but it's just like he's such a non-factor because he doesn't have any, your villain's got to have some.
Which is why I'm really sad that you said that the Azeroth parts are gross in the next book, because when he came out of that cauldron, he was fine. I was like, leather boots, long hair.
Also, some like evil. It's very intriguing. It's like a car accident that you cannot look away from. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But he is very amorous. Let me say that.
Oh, am I going to be into him?
No. Well, you specifically, yes.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Is he Cole type of amorous? Is he going to be approaching all of our teenage characters?
Oh no. He saves all his special sauce for a special lady.
Oh no.
Oh, I love this.
Riv.
What?
No.
Bun in the oven vibes.
Oh. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but also, he's like, you know what? I was in a cage for 130 years. I was in the other world for a millennia. I want to have a good time.
Oh,
yes, right to it.
I'm gonna bring up, but I'm gonna.
I want to savor life. Woo! I want to say
January is a long time away.
not when you're a rebel.
Like you.
It's actually also just not a long time away.
It
No.
is.
So-
It's like
Sounds
next
scary.
year. Literally.
That's,
Yeah, that's
that's
like-
not very good.
That's not
That's funny
Less
how that
than, like,
always
6
works.
weeks, Andrew.
I like how she's like, it's next year. That's 60 days, babe.
Not even.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's not even.
Oh,
Wait, pause.
It makes
It's like
me
30
stress.
days.
It makes me stress
No,
to think
35.
about.
45, yeah, 45.
We've got 45
I'm-
days. Stop trying to kill
Why
me
do you
sooner.
say that? Now I'm stressed out.
Is that
Oh my
why
God.
Shadow Daddy? I wouldn't say
I
shadow.
never want to hear the term shadow daddy ever again. I actually hate it. Like it makes me like I hate it so much.
Okay, Shadow Daddy.
I'm about to beat your ass.
If you want
Please,
something
that
to look
that
forward
sounds like
to-
something a Shadow Daddy would do, so it's
Oh
fine.
god.
if you want
I
something
mean,
to look forward to in book 3, one of the best things that we see is Burn Azeroth 101. Oh,
Oh, T.
Burn Aspharoth? Burn?
burn.
Burn.
Spoilers?
You don't know what happens.
I'm gonna pretend that
believe-
doesn't happen. I'm actually gonna erase all of this from my brain.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know what
I
you
actually
just
will
said.
forget by the time I get to the
I
book,
will-
and then everything
yeah,
will
I
be
will
really
forget.
exciting.
I forget everything Aaron says anyway.
I'm like,
It's
oh my
true.
god, we cover such
True.
interesting points in these live shows, and then I start the book, and I'm like, did we talk about this in the live show? Because it's pretty interesting.
I have a question. Cole suddenly revealing, hey, we wrote all this. Let's get rid of the rule about not interbreeding. Is he wanting more
Yes.
babies to raise? Like, is he encouraging it, or is he doing it to say, oh, I have a daughter now, so we don't want to kill her anymore?
Neither.
Or
You don't give a shit about her, bro. He's
what's
only
his
doing it to save her.
point?
It's retroactive because basically the thing that everybody keeps holding against him is that you are smashing the girls. You are smashing all the girls, and you know that's wrong, which is why you killed Israfil. But also, we all know about the house in the forest. Like it's an open secret, and he knows at some point. Everybody knows it's gonna come out about Ryu. And so if you walk it back, because if he's not killing, you can clearly look at her and tell that she is half half Benelin.
He's just
They
projecting.
have Caddyshaw, they kind of look like bat people. You know, so like if she's gonna be around and she's Loki, his right hand person, he's like, you're gonna go everywhere I go. You gotta kind of retroactively change that rule. So yeah, he's like, we got to get rid of that because also if I do that, then I could be more accepting to the humans and they can, be in support of it. And then also the other creepy guys who have been smashing the girls, they're gonna come on my side because I'm making it cool and like safe to smash the girls. And like, look how this one turned out. She's perfectly fine.
And if they're gonna carry on being like she is the future, a part of me wonders like if they do continue. Obviously, I don't know where this is going, but another part of me is like, I wonder if we're gonna see more winged girlies in the future.
Well, because the thought came to mind with the idea of, okay, open the void, shove everyone on the other side, close it off. Well, then what do you do with the half and half?
Real.
Like, that's not really a question. It's just
I guess
mean-
Rib is going to hell.
In theory, if you get rid of all of the Katashim, assuming the Katashim are evil, so you get rid of all of like the half Katashims, and you only have the half Benalim left, there's not that many of them, so they would eventually essentially become human because they'd just be bred out of the line.
Yeah.
Depending on how long they live, though.
They're,
Obviously, the
they're long
Benalim
life
are
species.
immortal.
And also, we don't know how long half breeds live because they've never been given the opportunity to live normally, no? So, like, we don't even know what Riv's lifespan looks like. Also,
No.
if we do start interbreeding, I hate using this word. If we do start interbreeding a bit more, and then let's say you're like 3-part human, 1 part Benalim, what does that look like? And like, what then happens with their wings? Do they become more and more like smaller? Do they start getting messed up? Like, what kind of biological deficiencies could potentially come with this?
You get like a
Especially
little
with
Pegasus wing on one side.
Yeah, like a Sephiroth situation. Who knows? And furthermore, it's like we know Riv has this insane rage inside of her. What do those circumstances look like? Does the bloodline becoming more and more diluted? Does that work in like their favor, or is that going to create more of an issue?
All excellent questions that John Gwynne probably has not addressed yet.
no.
We will see.
But Sandra planned 150 babies for Reeve, so It'll be
And
like a
everyone is
breeding
immortal,
experiment right
and
there.
all those babies gets at least 25 babies each. So then we have loads suddenly.
I don't like this.
I'm sorry.
Sandra is all about the babies.
Yeah.
Of
Apparently.
course.
Yeah, but think about her poor part. What if she doesn't want this, bro?
We will
That's
see on the
the
next episode of What the Fuck Are We Doing?
That's so real, Patricia.
But if she's immortal, like she doesn't need 125 babies after one another. She can take a break in between. It will be fine.
Yeah, but Greta won't be there.
I would guess that she isn't immortal. She's probably long lived, but not immortal.
Yeah.
I wonder if the lifespans will be similar to the giants, because the giants seemingly live forever. Because like Alcyon was old as fuck, like when we met him, and now he's 150 years
Alcyon,
old.
Valor, he was the original giant.
Yeah.
Hey, crows apparently have super long lives.
Do we see in the next book? Do we see Alcyon's wife?
All right.
Is that a question you want
she-
answered?
She left to do
General
something.
Answer privately.
I want it answering. Like, I want to know if that we're covering that in this series, or whether that's just a tangent that's been left open.
We will see her.
Okay, so we are covering that, because I know that he was talking to his son about how I can't remember what she's gone off to do, but she's gone off to do something, and they didn't go with her.
She went
And
on
his son
her
lives
her
with her.
giant
Find the
plan,
giant clan.
because
Yes.
from the first series, her and her son had been trapped by what faction was it, and they were forced to work, and then they were using
It was the pirates, right? Wasn't it?
yeah.
Mhm.
And so she
yeah.
had been with them for a long, her and her son had been with them for a long time, and they were using Alcyon for whatever, but they were the leverage that they used them for. And then was it Macwin? Was it Macwin and somebody else that freed them? And so she was like, well, now I'm gonna go find my people. And he was like, well, I'm gonna stay with these guys. I kind of like them.
Mm-hmm. And that's where she's at. Yeah, because I knew that she'd gone somewhere and it seemed important, but I didn't know whether we were going to cover that in this series or whether we were going to be exploring that elsewhere. That's cool. I can always do with more giants.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know how long the giants live, though, do we, actually?
Did you?
I feel like, this is a situation where we don't know how long lived other than Balor, because like y'all end up kind of getting killed in the fucking battle. So like, it's hard to tell. Actual death is the thing that's killing y'all, not age.
True. But anything that anybody else feels we need to cover? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay, so this is a John Gwynne series. So you all know one thing John Gwynne does. Who do you think
Kills
is
everyone's
standing?
I'm just saying shit. Anything.
Fritha's got to go, right? We got to kill her.
Yeah, she is.
I
Yeah,
empathize with her, but she's done too much fucked up shit. Like, she's a liability, man, because she's like mentally unwell at this point as well.
I think Drem's got to go because he's too likable.
No way. German's like the Corbin of the thing.
Yeah, and I'm an awful person. What do you want from me?
Maybe Fritha's creations will turn on her and just eat her alive.
They love their mama down,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Blood and River for sure survive. I think Blood and River have their happy ending.
I think Byrne's gone. I think she'll be a casualty.
Yeah. I think Kraft is going to be a sad one.
I feel like Cullen's got to
He's
come
so
in
old.
as well.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Cullen and Drem will survive
Maybe.
because of who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like all of the characters that John Gwynne's killed, like he's never killed. Like realistically, he could have killed Corwin, and he never did.
Yeah,
actually
instead
didn't really
he
like
killed
Corwin
Macron and
in the actual
Fidel,
season.
like a rude.
Which were the Fidel, that was a sad one. But then after Fidel died, you knew that Macron was going to go.
I know, but that
And
was
they
so
were all like all
annoying.
of the characters that died were all of the older ones who like didn't have too much to live for or would really like they've lived their lives and they were happy to just like sacrifice for the greater good.
They wouldn't
That
be
is why I-
contributing kids to the next storyline.
But that
Right.
is why I don't think Blada and River's gonna die. They're so young; they can make babies.
Prior
But they've
to
already been making babies, so maybe like there's already one in the oven and there's no need for Bladder anymore.
Well,
Prior to
he
this
was my favorite character, but then it became useless. So goodbye.
can they even procreate? That's the thing we should question is can they? That's a good, you know.
Well, Farah and Riz can, and sure as hell they can too.
Yeah.
Guard.
If the Benelim can with the humans, I would assume that they can. But then also we have the fact that Riv is female and none of the Benelim are, so that might add complications to it.
Wait, aren't there animals that can interbreed, but then their children can't procreate?
Donkeys.
Donkeys. That's where I was going. I was like, is it mules, donkeys? It is
Oh.
possible. They can. It's a horse and a mule make a donkey,
Something like that, yeah.
but then donkeys can't breed.
Isn't it a
Or
donkey and a
it's
horse
some
that makes a mule? And
compilation
mule
there.
can't breed. Mules can't
Okay,
breed.
there you go.
Yeah.
It's
Something
some
like that.
compilation there.
Yeah.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
about to be so sad for donkeys. I was like, how are there so many donkeys if they can't reproduce?
No, it's the
Why are
mules
horses
that
and
can.
donkeys having so much
Mules
sex?
can't. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for the donkeys. So you don't see
Yeah.
very many mules.
Donkeys can still
If
have
that makes sense.
Well,
Well,
Is
interesting.
Reeve a mule or a donkey? We don't know.
That is a really good question. Is the next live show the 11th of January?
I am going to say yes, please, because I have a bathroom renovation that starts on the 12th. So I'm going to start to very slowly lose my mind over the course of 3 weeks after the 11th. So maybe we want to get that in before that starts happening.
Sounds good.
Works for me.
Amazing. I will put it in my calendar.
And that's on Becca's channel.
Yes,
Correct.
it is.
And then we're done.
no,
No, we're not done. Then we're going to
Well.
read.
I mean, we're done with this series, no?
Oh,
With,
that's true.
with these three, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We have the three.
Do we
books.
have? Does anybody, and by this I mean does Aaron have any predictions of what John Gwynne's going to be announcing?
I think the safe bet is a continuation of the Bloodsworn,
Okay.
like similar to this one, but also Bloodsworn was a very strategic move because like you couldn't have read this series without having read the first one. So you'll see a lot of people like I really like Bloodsworn or I really like Faith and the Fallen. Not as many people like both because they are very different, and so that was a new series for new readers. But now that series, I would argue, is actually more popular than the Faith on the Fallen, and so it's like it will make sense to put a continuation out in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't repeat. I'm currently campaigning for Malazan Book of the Fallen. Please join me in my efforts if you like.
I thought we already decided what the next ones were that I've already forgotten, but still.
No,
Did we?
No, I
Let's-
don't think so.
Remember last time we started this conversation at the end
Yeah,
of the
then we
line,
had it
and then we went
afterwards.
off to Wales. Just keep it in
because
mind.
that is forgetting that we're reading Bloodsworn after this. That's the thing she keeps forgetting. We're talking about
The
next.
Bloodsworn was to buy us some more time because I feel like we've run out of things that are like obvious choices. So now I
So
feel like we
Becca's
need to do
shutting
some
down
more
the club.
research.
I'm joking.
Well, we need to do some more research into some other series because I think everyone we've done so far, we've had people who have been able to vouch for at least the first book in the series that it's actually worth it. Whereas, like,
Aaron is
Sandra-
vouching for Malazan.
Malazan does not. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It does not fit the criteria.
It does. It does. It does. I've already read it and I love it. Sandra's reading it very soon if she hasn't read it already and she can vouch for it, but it does fit the criteria. Let me pull it up.
The thing is, isn't it like a bajillion like books long, right? So it's going to take us what 3 years? What did you say?
It's only like
We're not a
isn't it like
bajillion book long.
Isn't it only like
I'm not
16
complaining.
like
I'm not
Grandma
complaining.
Challenge?
I'm not the one who's complaining about it. I'm not.
Yeah, but it's like 16 really dense, really long books. Like it's dense.
But
So the
Becca, you
people who
read
did
Wheel
And
of
it
Aaron,
Time.
where we left it last time, Aaron admitted herself that you cannot marathon any of those books directly before a live show. And when do we all start the books? Approximately no earlier than a week before the live show, right?
I read the book a while ago, as a matter of fact. I read it in September.
This was not the usual.
Yeah.
Usually it's
I have one or two speeds. Unfortunately, you never know which one you're gonna get.
Okay, so are we not reading Bloodsworn?
Yes, Zaf.
No,
We
Yeah,
are
I'm
reading Bloodsworn.
Sorry, my brain. Sorry, a pasta was presented in front of me, and my brain like short-circuited.
Valid.
Either way, I think it's gonna be good.
It's Malazan. Or Malazan. I've heard it Malazan,
It's
but I think
Malazan.
accurately it's Malazan. Yeah.
I also
Do we know
say
when the
Malazan.
announcement's coming? I know there's been said there's an announcement. Or he said he finished something. Is that what we do?
What series is
I think
this?
he just said he
Curious
finished.
Time, Curious
Okay.
Cat, indeed, 4759. I'm talking about Malazan, Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson. The Book of the Fallen is 10 books, and then after that, it's the Carcanis trilogy and or the Witness trilogy.
That's really unfortunate because that does imply that it does fit the criteria.
I
for
know,
it.
'cause I knew what I said, and it did, girl. I'm thorough. Come on now.
Actually, I was going to
to
say, even though we only already read it, that Memories Are Thorn would also fit the criteria, but now we already read it.
Hell no.
I
So
know
what-
we're not going to read it again. Chill, Aaron. I was just saying.
Becca, you
The
would.
Witcher does not fit the criteria, although on a technicality, it potentially might because a
Why does-
prequel has just been released that
Okay,
isn't
so
part of the
it
original
does- it does-
series.
It doesn't fit the criteria back. I read
Why?
all of them.
Why does it not fit? What criteria does it not fit?
Because it's the
Because it's
same
not-
series. Just because it's
It
a
has
prequel,
to
it's
be
the
more
same
than one series set in the same
I
world or
know
universe.
that Miss Becca, who hates a
Okay.
short story, isn't considering a series of the first 2 books are short story collections. That doesn't even sound
I
right.
will say that I started The Witcher and I didn't like the first book because it was a short story collection, and I have not continued to this day, and it's been years because I know that I need to make it into at
You
least
just
into
got
the
another
actual
special
book.
edition.
Same.
I would say that I read all of them, and I like the best the short stories because when they start becoming full like books, that's when they get bad.
Damn.
I love Cradle Patricia, but it also does not fit the criteria.
Is that the Will?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one.
Will White.
I do
What
need to
about?
continue
I don't think this fits the criteria actually, which is unfortunate.
I
I
still
feel
think
like
we
the
should
one
do
that-
I
Michael
love if we
Jackson.
have this discussion every time.
I don't
Yeah,
think it would be
say
good.
this
It would be that
first.
Trudy Canavan series, but I don't think that would be enjoyable. I genuinely don't.
I think
See,
we
that's
should
the
still
top
do
contender
Michael
that
J.
I have
Sullivan.
because I have it. But Michael J. Sullivan as well, the Right Area Chronicles and those
I
ones.
think
Now I can get behind that. I've read most of it and I love it. Could get behind that because it's actually very good. They're not too long, which I think will work for some of you. You know,
It's just
it has epic bromance. There are a couple of nice romances. You see like different eras in the same world, similar to like a Stormlight, not a Stormlight, a Mistborn era. So like the actual furthest future one is the starting point, and then you go back in the past and work your way back up to the present. Kind of that's like the reading order. I would say there is some accessibility issues there because some of the series is traditionally published, some of it is self/independently published, and so that might present a problem for some people. We could look into that, but that is one I could get behind. It's not as good as Malazan though. And I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm currently reading my 10th, Michael J. Sullivan.
I'm just looking at. I found like a Reddit list of like all of the series that are set in the same world.
Mm-hmm. What was I about to say?
Red Rising. No. I'm just joking.
No, I
Oh
thought
my
that was one of
days.
the ones that were in the thingamajiggy because like Becca loves it or some shit.
What?
What?
Like, I thought we were talking about Red Rising, and you were like, "Oh, if he announced
That's
this
not
book-"
Catch Your Book Club.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just-
side quest.
That's
It's
a
a
sci-fi.
giggles club.
So I don't know if
It's
she,
a
she
giggles
forgets
club.
sometimes. So I don't know if that would slide because it's sci-fi, even though it's sci-fi.
I feel like it could. We could do sci-fi. I don't know any sci-fi that would apply. I mean, Red Rising technically, but also not really.
Mm.
I mean, it's definitely an era.
No, because Iron Age is still book 4. It's not book 1 in a different series. There's just a time jump in the middle.
Okay, this might be a wild card, but it is. I think it's called The World of the series name change. Lois McMaster Bujold. I think it's The World of the Five Gods. I want to say there's the first series that starts with Curse of the Chalian. It's a trilogy, and then it's some more books after that. It was like Penric something. I've been reading her sci-fi, and her sci-fi is incredible. People's Air Fancy is like just,
I mean, we've got 6 months to figure it out, so
This
6 months we gotta get right to. I mean, this world is this world fits, but it's 40 fucking books. Who's reading that?
Well, they're really short, so you could do one a month.
Then we never have to go through this again to pick a new series.
It's very humorous.
Yeah, no, I have 2 Terry Pratchett books, but I honestly don't think Terry Pratchett is going to be for me because his writing style is very particular. I feel like it's going to be like, I feel like Joe Abercrombie is an evolution of Terry Pratchett.
The humor is going to make it or break it, honestly.
It's going to break it. Her is sci-fi too.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh.
I just knew that it's dragons. I assumed it was fantasy. I've got the first one. See, we have to walk a very careful line here because we have 6 people. Okay, so we have to bet that like we're all going to enjoy it. I don't like humor,
or at least enjoy hating it,
like
one or the
classic fantasy. So like, I would be worried about the Pern books being too old for me.
Well, I was gonna say one thing because you said it had to be 7 series set in the same world, but didn't you read Game of Thrones? It only has 1 series in the world.
It does not because it has 2 prequels that we didn't read for the read along, but it does technically count.
But that is so interesting either way.
But we didn't read them. We only read the series.
Aren't Tamora?
Yeah, I know. But that was the first series that we did, and then we did the Realm of the Eldlings, and then the rule was created that they all had to be in the same world.
Okay.
Well, better and better.
You said there needs to be 6 people that enjoy it. I don't care if I enjoy it. I would just read it. So I would just read whatever you just said.
I won't.
That's okay.
I can't. The criteria could be changed. But like, I don't know, man. Do you go to the pub and order a cup of tea? Like if you're drinking tea while you're at the pub, you know?
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, this might be too good because our Scott Backer series, the Prince of Nothing, it is very kind of dark and graphic. I think it might be too dark and graphic, so that's an option because there is a sequel series to that.
I mean, if we're adding the Bloodsworn saga into this, isn't the criteria changed?
But the Bloodsworn saga was just because John Gwynne only has 3 other books, and I do want to read them, so we might as well just like add them on.
What we're saying is,
and also procrastination on picking something else.
It's true, and also like the criteria may change at some point in the future, but we still have many series that we could explore under this criteria. So I don't see why. Plus, so the main reason why this is the criteria is because, as we had an argument about last time, I make all of the graphics, and I'm not making all of the graphics every 6 months because we want to do trilogies. Okay, like we have to commit to a decent amount of books.
Okay, Mark Lawrence is my new option.
They are all interconnected, but I do not want to read Prince of Thorns because I read it and I hated it.
Okay, but we can put Prince of Thorns aside because you already read the first 2 books in, what is it called? Red Sister, which is called the Book of the Ancestor, and then there's the Book of the Ice, which is the sequel to that.
Oh shit, we could do that.
Yeah, and those aren't too long.
I want to reread those because I would have to read. I haven't read Holy Sister, and
therefore reread and resume. You can put that in there for the next round.
Okay, well, there we go.
I just want to inform you all that I just unhauled that series, but it's okay.
Well, you're gonna have to go get that back.
Put them off the set.
I know, like,
We
and it's
won't,
so
we
funny
won't.
because I was just like, we would never do this serious, and then it's safe, don't haul it, and I literally just gave it away. So thank you so much for that.
Honestly, like because we tend to do epic fantasy, so I wouldn't have thought of Mark Lawrence because it's not epic.
I am
But that is an
sighing
option.
deeply inside.
It is epic. Yeah. Because I'm gonna just say this. I read his newest series. Oh, first of all, the new cover. Oh, gorgeous. His new series.
I haven't seen the new cover.
There's another
What's the
Tom
book
Roberts
called?
cover.
What's it called? The first book.
Is it The Art of Crows or something like that? Hold on.
Oh, I forgot he had a new thing.
Are we talking about Mark Lawrence?
Yeah.
Mm.
I got confused.
It's not called The Art of Crows because that's nothing.
It's something Crows. Daughter of Crows.
Daughter of Crows.
Daughter of Crows, the Kindness Academy series. So
That's nice.
mhm.
Is that set in the same world as the library books? Or is this completely new?
Because the covers look similar.
Hold on, I'm gonna come right back to that. So the cover artist is Tom Roberts. He also did the covers for Sunbringer, that series. So that's another reason why you like the art. So the library series is the library is like a nexus because some of the things you find out are like it's in Craft City, which if you just read Book of the Answers, so you know that is a city that Jorg is in. Jorg is quoted, all that. So this is actually kind of like the Nexus series because this library has a portal to every world and every time it's ever existed. So they're actually all connected.
But I thought that they were because all of the series that I've read, so I've read Prince of Thorns and I've read the first two Book of the Ancestor books, they're all post-apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, either this is intentional because they're all in the same like universe, or it's just like something like a quirk that Mark Lawrence likes to do.
The library,
so that makes a lot of sense.
The city that the library is in is also post-apocalyptic because like the girl, she's from the dust, and it is the dust of all the civilizations that have been destroyed beforehand because they had the knowledge of everything that would be from the
Damn, but I don't want to read Prince of Thorns.
Okay, you don't have to read that one, but I'm saying we could read because they can be contained. So
you just said they're all connected. Then it feels weird to skip Prince of Thorns.
No,
it's not just Prince of Thorns because there's a spin-off series to Prince of Thorns as well. So it's not just three.
I read all of them, so I know, and I hold
kind
all
of like
of
the
them.
Cosmere, where like coming out, it wasn't said that the Cosmere was all connected, but eventually somebody was like, "Hold on." So he's written that series because it's a library, it's connected to everything. So of course it will be connected to, but I don't think you have to read it. The other things.
Can I just say, one of my favorite characters of all time in my stupid dating game, he has a library that connects to every other timeline to ever exist, and I love that premise. So I'm currently on board with whatever Aaron is suggesting.
The book that wouldn't burn is my favorite book of the year.
That's it.
I would rather do my last one.
But we're gonna do Red Sister and then the Book of the Ice, and then if we like it enough, we can read the library trilogy. Because I probably Prince of Thorns for a book club either because of how graphic it is, and like so many people like the triggers and the content warnings, whatever. Probably wouldn't be comfortable reading that. But Ancestor and Ice and the library trilogy, you can read. I think anybody.
The thing with Book of the Ice that really pissed me off is that it was in book boxes because it was supposed to be standalone. And then book 2 comes along and it's totally interconnected and it made me mad.
Honestly,
I did enjoy it, but it just pissed me off. I had to go back and read a previous.
Whenever a publisher says you don't need to read the book that came before, it's a lie. It is a lie. Because Orbit will tell you that you don't need to read Faithful before this.
I think it wasn't. I wasn't aware there was a connection. Like it was just a new trilogy from him when that book came out, the first book came out. And then it quickly becomes apparent that they are very interconnected. I was like, I feel duped.
I was betting on Becca's hate for Prince of Thorns and then I hold them, so that's all I got to say.
Okay, Becca, here's an idea.
I like Book of the Ancestor.
What if you do kind of like that one episode of Shelve It or Scrap It? Brent Weeks, we could do that one, but only the first book has been out in the sequel series to the Night Angel trilogy, and it's been a couple of years, so I don't know the status of that one. But you could do an episode like you did that one episode of Shelve It or Scrap It where you like sampled all the books to see if you were shelf them or scrap them. And the series that we've mentioned, you can put them all together and like read the first 50 pages or the first 100 pages to see, because you're a big person on writing. You're like, what'd you say? I could read real written shit. Okay. And then decide based on that.
Whee!
Well, we still have 6 months to decide, so we have plenty of time to talk about this.
We're going to talk about this in every live for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's only every
It's
other
true.
month. It's only 3, 4 months.
It does drive me crazy though, because people are like, what are we going to be reading in 8 months? And if I tell you what we're going to be reading in 8 months, you are going to go and buy them now, and you're going to read them now, and then you're not going to turn up to the live shows. Or you are going to be bored of the idea of reading them in 8 months, and you're not going to read them, and you're not going to come. Like, I don't know why people want to know so bad what we're going to be reading in 8 months. Because it always goes on into it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, on that note, we will see you on the 11th of January for A Time of Courage, which, thanks guys for letting me know that it was a much longer book than I anticipated, because I'm going to have to get on that. It's okay. It's fine. It's not offensive. It's not offensive. I'm not offended. It's just a question I get a lot.
Myself a little bit more time with this, because even though I love it, I struggle with it, because Jen and Amphitha together were pissing me off, and they have so many chapters, and I was like, I don't want to hear that shit no more, and I would just put it down because they.
The way so it won't be a one-day binge this time.
I mean, I've already read it, so But no, it's really, how when you were getting Lyco's POV, or when you're in Kyle's POV, or what is his name? Not Kendrick. What is it? I love him. The pirate guy.
Lycos?
No, from Robin Hobb.
Oh.
Kenneth.
Where it's like you actually couldn't read with so much of his POV at once, because it would just be too overwhelmingly disgusting and terrible. I was like that.
Oh, I love that. That's a great thing to be in my future.
That's next year's
well, on
problem.
that note, it's next year's problem, and we will see you all on the 11th of January for the last book in the Blood and Bone saga. I believe that Deb has linked the announcement for Bloodsworn saga if you want to go check that out. It's real simple. It's just a book every 2 months, like this is, and it's the same group. It's the same cycle of live shows, but we will see. I'm trying to end the live show. It's not my live show. Deb, take it from here because you're pressing the button.
All right. Thank you all. Everyone should be linked, I believe, down below, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.